Hey everybody, welcome to the North Attleboro Blood Bowl, Basement Blood Bowl League. My name is Micah, I am the commissioner, I'm also the owner of the Lab Ratz, which is one of the two teams here going on in the first game we ever played. I'm playing against my friend Mark D'Antonio. He has the Grumble Hill Graybeards, a dwarven team. We're a rookie league, we're just getting started. I figured I'd have some fun recording some games just to get some action and see how things go. But, you know, gameplay is pretty slow. We're still learning the rules. We're still making sure we have the right number of dice being thrown. Mark's team is a traditional dwarven team out of the gates. 2 runners, 2 troll slayers, 2 blitzers, and 5 linemen. I have a Skaven team that's 6 linemen, 2 blitzers. I do have a rat ogre. I have 2 gutter runners and a thrower. But, you know, this is probably Mark's first time ever playing Blood Bowl on the tabletop. We did move a bit slow. And here's my attempt to kind of spruce it up a bit by showing some highlights and giving you some commentary with how this first game went. So we'll start it right off with the Lab Ratz. Foolishly, I'm all excited to play. I decided I was going to blitz right out of the gates with my blitzer. But forgetting 2 things about the game. 1, this is not a 2-die block, it's a 1-die block because I have no assists. And 2, blitzing against dwarves with everybody having block almost is a difficult process. But I did manage to get a defender stumbles, and for all of their block, they don't have any grace, so I was able to get a knockdown right out of the gates and not pay for my foolish decision. A roll of 10 manages to break their very difficult armor. I believe most dwarves have an armor of 9, but I was only able to stun the player and kind of give myself a little time. Later on in that turn, the Rats do what the Rats do best. They're a very skilled and agile team. They move very quickly. So here my thrower, Chuck E. Cheese, had picked up the ball. He moved up into position to be able to make a very short and safe pass to one of the gutter runners, number 13, who is Frisbee Crawley. I'm talking and going over the numbers with Mark as far as what I need to throw on dice. With their high agility, I basically need a 3 or higher because it's such a short pass. So a 3, 4, 5, 6, I throw a 3, the pass is successful, it's accurate, and that gives the catcher a +1 bonus on making a catch. The gutter runners already have an agility of 4, so realistically on a 2 or higher, he makes the catch. This stupid little short pass is done simply to get a single star player point, which is an experience point for my thrower, hopefully trying to get him to level up. Part of the game is you get experience points and, you know, try to level up your characters over time. Turning it over to Mark's half of the turn, this is number 55, Fang Wormforged, showing you how properly to blitz. He comes at and attacks my line rat, number 1, Sarcoma. It's a 2-die block. He gets the defender down, which is going to knock anybody down no matter how good or strong they are. Now at this point in time, he decides which square he's going to knock my player into, which there's usually 3 choices depending on what angle you come at. He decides whether or not he wants to follow up into the spot that I was in, and once that's done, he tries to crack through my armor. Rat's armor is nowhere near as thick as Dwarves' armor. He only needs to throw an 8 or higher because my armor is a 7, and I believe he throws like an 11 right out of the gates, smashes through my armor. Now he rolls to injure me, and a roll of 8 again is going to actually knock me off the pitch. So just like that, he's knocked out Sarcoma, and I'm down 1 rat. We're going to move ahead here to my side of turn 2. As you can see here, I'm trying to figure out how to move my gutter runner with the ball through the field. I have to make a dodge. I do fail it. My rat automatically, because of his dodge skill, gets a second roll. The second roll is a 6 and successful. So just like that, he moves the ball 9 squares down the field, which is huge. And every player at the end of their move has the option for 1 or 2 go for it squares, which you roll a 6-sided die, and as long as you don't throw a 1, which, you know, only happens 9 out of 10 times, right? You can move an extra space, which is what I did to just put a little more distance in here. In response, Mark thinks he's going to try to have a Troll Slayer dodge away from a line rat to try to make a blitz on the ball carrier. Unfortunately, his agility is only a 2, so he needs a 4, 5, or 6 for a successful dodge to try to prevent the touchdown. 2 comes up as a failure. Mark's player falls to the ground, but more importantly, it becomes my turn. And with only a few squares to go, after trying to do some stuff, I take the safe play. I run Frisbee into the end zone for his first touchdown. That gets him 3-star player points. It gives the Rats a 1-0 lead. And at the end of 2.5 turns, you get a sense of just how quickly the Rats can move. Dwarves are tough, dwarves are thick, dwarves are strong, and in response to the kickoff, at this point in time, I think this is number 77, Lindgrim Copperbrew, one of the Brew brothers, throwing a block on number 3, Serotonin, defender down, and defender stumbles. That's a really good die roll, so he's going to knock Serotonin on his back. He'll follow probably into the same square, just like you always have to make that decision. But then he's going to try to crack through the armor. Again, all he needs is an 8 or higher. And what do we got here? Looks like an 11 again. Mark was throwing 11s all over the place. So Serotonin's on the ground, and 9 is good enough to knock him out as well. So now we've got 2 rats hanging out on the sideline. There's only 9 left on, or 10 left on the field. I did have 1 replacement. And now he's working with his runner, number 15, Morogrim Hornbrew, to see if he can pick up the ball, and with that 6, he successfully does. The dwarf team doesn't move as fast as the Skaven, so he's going to look at the rest of his movement to kind of move him up the field. I think he picks up 3 or 4 squares here to kind of get himself a little ways down the field. And then dwarves do what dwarves do best. They form what is called a cage. Once you have your runner in position, you take another of other players and you kind of surround him, protect him in as best of an X pattern as you can. And the theory here being that it's going to be difficult to get to the actual ball carrier to hit him to knock him down. Dwarves being a slow and strong team, they're just going to try to progressively move this whole block of players down the field towards the end zone. So we're going to move ahead one more turn. Number 60, Damgron Bonefoot. He's going to throw a 2-die block. He gets a both down, so the attacker and the defender both would go down. His player has block, mine doesn't. So the rat goes down in place. Now he just has to take a nice, armor roll, trying to get an 8 or higher, which isn't really that difficult when you think about it. He drops a 9, so he's cracked through the armor, and he's hurt. What's this now? I'm going stupid. It's Cirrhosis. He knocks Cirrhosis out of the game and actually hit him hard enough that when we rolled the injury, he's not only going to miss this game, but he's going to miss the next game as well, so I'm not going to be able to use that rat again until game 3. Going back to his cage, after he's managed to knock another rat out of the game, I've only got 9 left on the field. He's going to move his cage a little further down the field. I think he moves it all of 3 squares. But again, this is only turn 4. He still has 4 more turns to work himself into the end zone. Either way, a nice slow and steady race for the dwarves as he's trying to choose which player to move where. We're going to move on to turn 5 because I wasn't able to do much against him other than muddy up the waters. You can see I've managed to force him out of the cage a little because he wants to keep the ball safe. So he comes towards the center of the field. He only gains a single spot, but he is still moving down the field. Moving on to turn 5, Damgron, we're still in turn 5. Damgron once again throws a 1-die block. Again, against a player that doesn't have block, he is going to knock him down. And it wouldn't be on the highlight film if it wasn't bad news for somebody, right? So here comes the armor roll against the 7. Drops another 11, and Cerebellum is in trouble. Here comes the knockout roll. He throws an 8. It's off screen, but trust me, it was another knockout. I've now got 3 rats sitting in the knockout bin, 1 in the casualty, and here is my awful camera skills. I didn't get the dice tray off of the screen, but what's going on in the background is a turnover. I try to dodge with a very agile player. I throw 2 consecutive 1s. I fail, I fall down. I give him the ball back while I'm trying to set up a way to stop his runner. Here we are in turn 7. The cage is kind of broken up a bit, but Mark is still pressing to, get things under control. This is Lindgrim Copperbrew again, taking a block on number 5, Serrated. So he sets it up for the 2-die block. On the blitz, actually. I take it back. But here he is. He's going to get a 2-die block all the same. Trying to get in a position, try to knock my rats out so I can't hit his runner. Defender down. It's an easy way to knock my guy on his back. It sets him up for a nice easy roll. Still, once again, just trying to break through an armor of 7. He is going to follow into position, which kind of makes it more difficult for me to deal with his ball carrier. And boom, a 9. That's good enough for another knockout. So at this point in time, I have 4 rats in the knockout bin, 1 that's been badly hurt for the rest of the game. Unbelievable. Just crazy rolls by Mark, doing what dwarves do best. Here I am in turn 8 trying to salvage something out of this. I want to get a shot on his runner. Excuse me. The first roll is bad. It's an attacker down, it's a defender down, it's both down. Neither are good for me. I use a reroll. I believe this comes up with a defender stumbles, which is good enough to knock down his ball carrier, which is a sack. Now I've just got the monumental task of tracking through the Dwarven armor. The good news is runners only have an armor of 8. And I think at this point in time I'm able to throw a 10. I actually crack his armor. So not only is the runner down, the ball is free, but I'm looking to add some insult to injury, and a big roll on the casualty, another 10. I knock the guy, I knock the poor runner, Morgrim Hornbrute up for the rest of the game, and Circulate manages to save things for the Lab Rats. At this point in time, I just want to move the ball a little further downfield to make it impossible for the Dwarves to score before the end of the half. So I have Frisbee Crawley run over to pick up the ball, which he does pretty easily. And then I have him run around the corner to get to a place where the ball can't be intercepted, just to try to add another throw and a catch in there to get an extra star player point. The gutter runners with the agility of 4 really are successful on this on a 2 or higher. So the pass is accurate, it's online. And now looking for the catch. Again, 2 or higher. Steals a star player point. And that kind of ties up the first halves, and I'll be back with a second half highlight.